Hi students of ISB, it's your fellow alumni here, Tina Afiqah, a local author and also the writer of The Bubble Princess and the Stone Heart. So I wish everyone a happy book week and I hope everyone continues reading. I look forward to seeing everyone soon. Happy book week! I am Tina Afiqah, a Bruneian author, and in this video, I will be sharing with you the two Bruneian folklores which inspired my novel, The Bubble Princess and the Stone Heart. So sit back, relax, and I hope you listen attentively because it's story time! Yay! So the first folklore tells the story of Lela Manchanai. So once upon a time, back when Brunei was still under the rule of the 5th Sultan of Brunei, he was returning on his magnificent ship from his long travels. In the midst of returning home, he finds a woman floating on a bed of bubbles, and he found her so enchanting and so mystical that he decided to marry her. They were married happily for quite some time too, that is, until that one fateful day. Lela Manchanai was sewing the king a magnificent coat with a special golden needle, while the king sat by her side. Unfortunately, in the midst of it all, she accidentally pricks the king's finger and he dies from poisoning. And she was completely grief-stricken and overwhelmed with guilt that she decided to prick her own finger too. However, instead of dying, she turns into bubbles. To this day, the people of Kampung Ayer still believe that she exists and that if you were to see bubbles floating nearby above the water of Kampung Ayer, the villagers believe that it's her spirit visiting the people. So you can say that this story is sort of a Bruneian version of Romeo and Juliet, and maybe even Hans Christian Andersen's version of The Little Mermaid, where the mermaid turns into sea foam. And there are actually many different variants of the story too, coming from Jawa and Sulu, but this was a more prominent one I often hear from the Kampung Ayer villagers. The second folklore, which inspired The Bubble Princess and the Stone Heart, is one that's pretty popular with the kids, and that is Jong Batu. So this story is commonly used by elders and parents in hopes of inspiring children to respect their elders. So, once upon a time, there lived a boy and his mother. They were said to be so poor that they had to share one house as well as their meals. The boy loved his mother and felt sad that he could not give her a good life. So one day, he decided to venture off in hopes of returning with good fortune to support them both. However, days turned into weeks, and weeks turned into months, yet the son never returned. Finally, there was an announcement being made that a very wealthy man and his bride were sailing by to visit the village. The mother overheard that the man was actually her son, so she excitedly decided to paddle in her little boat to reunite with him. Unfortunately, the son was so embarrassed by his mother's disheveled appearance that he casted her away. Utterly heartbroken, his mother wishes for her son to be taught a lesson. Suddenly, a flash of lightning struck the ship, splitting it into two, and upon hearing her son's cries, she prayed for a way so that her son could be saved. So the boat was turned into stone to preserve all the souls on the boat. Now in our modern day, there is actually a landmark called Jong Batu, where you can see the cursed remains of the ship that had turned to stone, and to this day, villagers swear that they can still hear cries emitting from the stone late at night. And this story has many different variants as well, and there's different neighboring countries who have their own versions. But in the end of the day, they all share the same purpose, and that is to inspire kids to respect their parents. So I hope upon listening to this story, you'll continue respecting not just your parents, but I'd say everyone you meet, and just be kind to them.